Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over a story titled The Whole Story Up to the Divorce Update. And guys, this particular story here is a rewritten version of this very drawn out with many updates story this guy posted online about the situation with his wife, where he'd been with her for like 8.5 years and married her for only a year and a half. And lo and behold, after a lot of suspicious behavior and things going on, he found out that, in fact, guess what? She was having an affair. And this is a typical guy who's the nice guy in the relationship. And you're going to see here how, even though this guy's a good guy, and you'll definitely feel for him, this is an example of what happens when guys are way too nice. When they're way too nice and they don't lay down the law when they have to. And you're going to see here how his wife just jerks him around with all this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, trying to get to the bottom of all this and for her to openly admit what happened and all that. And every time he tries to be nice and accommodating, she jerks him around more. And ultimately, yes, she is cheating and all that. And to make matters worse, you're going to find out that the cheating involves different activities, so to speak, that I'm not going to mention here because YouTube's not going to like, involving a lot of props, if you get my point, that you're going to see later on in the story. And this particular thing, guys, is going to show you more of what not to do in a situation of being too nice and all that. Okay, and as well as how the clear signs when cheating is going on. I mean, I've done so many of these stories that from you guys have sent to me or ones I found online, and it's always the same old thing, same old type of clues that something's going on, red flags, if you will. So as I go through this, guys, I want you to pay attention and see if you can pick out the signs before I even mention them, okay? A little game we can have here. But anyhow, guys, a little longer, but it's a good one. Again, a definite example of so many areas of what not to do and how to handle a bad situation. But ultimately, the guy comes out on top, thank the Lord, and grows a pair in the end. So, but anyhow, I'm going to get right into it. This starts off saying, all right, so as far as things went, it all began rolling downhill in July of 2020. June was great. We had did a little getaway with our son and his friend. They hung out, we had fun together, and the sex was good. July came around and we were having issues. Spats over stupid little things, her not interested in intimacy. Okay, so what could be going on already? All of a sudden, she's not interested in hooking up. And little stupid fights over stupid bullshit. Now, any couple can have a disagreement from time to time, but all of a sudden things are going on. That's a red flag, 2 of them. He says, I'd be interested in her day, but her showing no interest in mine. Extended times in the bathroom as well as baths all the damn time. And yet she complains that we don't spend enough time together. So, spending all this time in the bathroom, all these very long baths, she's avoiding him. And what's usually going on there? Texting. Just you watch. July passes like this, August gets more strained, and she even tries to act like things are all right. She shows me lingerie, says it's going to be for my birthday. The birthday comes around, but she buys me a couple records, but nothing. I had a long day at work, she did too, supposedly, and we just end up cooking and chilling together. I figure it's a weekday, it's whatever. She offers sex, but doesn't really seem there. So his wife is distant, they're picking stupid fights over BS, keeping her distance from him, spending long times in the bathroom, avoiding him, not interested in sex all of a sudden. These are red flags. So you guys do relationships, you ever notice something like this, pay attention, okay? Don't let that stuff go. You gotta really address those things. This guy, he doesn't notice these things. He doesn't have that knowledge to address these things, and unfortunately, you're gonna see what happens. He says, eventually in September, we had a few big fights, one of which she asked to have some time to herself. I thought this was suspicious, and it was crazy, and I was crazy distraught as I felt our marriage was crumbling. I was right. I took the dogs and left to stay with my brother and family for the night. The next day I came home in the afternoon. She had said she wanted to go out with her friends before I got there, and I never stopped her from being with her friends. Well, there you go. More fights, and all of a sudden he has this feeling that, hey, things are crumbling. Well, trust your gut. And she wants to go out for a girls' night. What happens in a lot of these stories with the girls' nights? You're going to see. He says, I got home around 12. She got home at 6. As in, he got home at 12 o'clock at night, and she got home at 6-ish a.m. I saw her, told her I was happy to see her. She mumbles. The month was terrible, and that week was especially so. He's, as you can see here, guys, just boom, 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 getting through the story because he obviously did before. But it's a longer one, so that's why he has to do this. He says, she's not kissing me. She's rude and snide and straight out cruel. I'm asking her to talk to me, to tell me what's going on. I notice things aren't right, and I want us to be okay. Okay, so she's being, all these things are going on. She's being rude, disrespectful, cruel even. And this guy's like, I just want to talk. This guy needs to start laying down the law. Say enough with this bullshit. Okay, you do not disrespect me. You don't talk down to me. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm your husband, and amongst many other things here. But he's trying the nice guy thing. He's doing this stuff that you see on TV and movies and be all sweet and kind, even though she's being a total shithead. You can't let them do that, guys. Otherwise, they won't respect you. Women know when they're acting like assholes. And if you don't lay down the law, if you don't call them on their crap, they're going to lose respect for you, okay? Now, obviously, there's plenty of other things going on behind the scene here, but you get my point. If a woman doesn't respect you, she sure as hell ain't going to love you, and she's going to treat you like crap, and oftentimes keep testing you and doing bullshit to lay down the law because they want you to lay down the law with them. They want you to act like a man, not this nice guy pushover, which this guy's doing. He's trying to do what he sees obviously on television and movies and all that, because in TV and movies, that's what guys do and everything's okay. No. He's acting weak, and it's turning her off. And again, she's the jerk here, don't get me wrong, but he isn't helping the situation. He goes on, an acquaintance of mine, who's now really a good friend, sees me at work and shows concern. I explained to him how I love my wife. We've been together for 8.5 years, and I'm married for 1.5 at this point, and I don't know what to do. He recommended marriage counseling and says she's been through something like this. He suggests I get the 5 love languages. That's a book, by the way. And another that I can't think of. I read it immediately. I come to the realization I've been prioritizing my work. He says I own my own business, my brother, because we've been overloaded since COVID and business has been booming. But nonetheless, I never stopped trying to be intimate or loving. So the guy was busy at work, and he thinks that because he wasn't around as much, she's being bitchy, and obviously, you're going to see, found outside attention. But you don't want to be with someone like this because the second things don't go right, they start pulling crap like this. And this is what her personality is like. And notice he's only been married to her for 1.5 years. Right? Together 8.5 years, but only married 1.5 years. Once that ring's on the finger, the true colors come out. But there could have been things going on behind the scene before they were married, which is certainly a possibility. He says, the very next day, I come home and she's sick and I take care of her. The next morning, as she's getting ready, I calmly and lovingly asked if we could talk a bit before she leaves. I would not be asking if we can talk. I would say, we are going to talk based on her behavior. Things wouldn't have gotten this far if it was me, that I can tell you. But by no means this bad. But this guy doesn't know any better. I tell her everything I learned from the book. He says, I read the whole damn thing the night before, and that I felt I'd been very inattentive, and that I loved her, and we should go to marriage counseling and try to fix what we have, because we love each other, and we have our son. He may be acting like a wuss, but this guy is at least trying, and he's a good guy, and I give him credit. But watch how this goes. Something I said must have triggered something in her, because she broke down crying and began to repeat that I was going to hate her. Eventually, after telling her just to be honest with me, she admitted that she cheated on me this past weekend when she said she was going to be out with her friends. Talk about a stereotype. The cheating went on when she was out with the friends. How many times have you heard this story? And notice how she said she started crying and started saying that he was going to hate her. How many times have you been with a girl that she's done something wrong and she's in the wrong and the waterworks come out and, oh, you're going to hate me. It's okay, baby. No, you will. It's okay, you can tell me anything. Just don't yell at me. You know what I mean? They can force tears like that. They master that shit when they're little girls. The crocodile tears. He says, I was in shock, blown away, but I love my wife, I love my marriage, I love my son. So like a fool, I told her that it was okay, that I could forgive her, but she had to completely come clean about it. It was okay, and you forgive her. How about her going through some definite attempts to win you back? Don't just immediately just throw your hands up in the air and say, well, I love you, it's okay. No. She has to earn you back. She's probably like, what? I've been treating you like shit. I cheated on you, all this stuff, and you're just going to be like, okay. You think she's going to respect this guy? Do you think any woman would respect the guy that acted like that? No way. She needs to know there's consequences to her actions. She's probably with a guy that she knows, the guy she's probably cheating with, he's the type to probably, if she pulled any BS with him, there would be consequences. He'd act like a man and lay down the law, and that probably turns her on. He says, she then clammed up. No names, no info, just that she's been talking to the affair partner since July when all this bad behavior started, and had carried on an emotional affair until a day in September. How can I believe her? I don't. I tell her she's made a joke of our marriage, our vows, and this was on a Thursday. She absolutely has. And this guy thinks I've done everything right. I've been working hard, doing this, and this for the family, and you treat me like this? Does this sound familiar, guys? To many stories you've heard, or maybe some of you have gone through this? This nice guy shit doesn't work. I try to have a discussion with her that night, and she refuses and gives little. Bullshit. She's going to talk. She's going to complain about everything, or I'm out of there, and we're done. How about that? You don't see him doing that, do you? You don't see him laying down the law. She says she never agreed to talk about things, but that she told the affair partner that she had told me about them. Friday rolls around, and it's the same. I'm dry heaving, haven't slept, felt crappy, angry, destroyed inside. Eventually, Saturday comes, and my brother, seeing the wreck that I am, tells me to go home and handle what's going on. She gets up, goes, works out, and all the while I'm a wreck. See that she doesn't give a shit. I call my father, who has been a cheater in his marriage, but my mother and him have worked it out and have had a fantastic marriage ever since, and ask for his advice. He tells me it's not a mistake, she knew exactly what she was doing, and she needs to make a choice. And if she doesn't, then that's when you tell her everything, that tells you everything you need to know. See, his dad's old school. His dad's telling him to lay down the law, which this guy has not done. And do you think he's going to? Well, you'll see. Nice guys can't exactly switch into assertive men like that. This takes a long time. Should have listened to his dad. I get myself together because I'm a wreck. I clean the house and make sure my son is all taken care of. What do you mean you clean the house? She should be cleaning the house. After all this, she ought to be on her hands and knees scrubbing the floor like Cinderella. Not you clean the house, damn it. Then I go down to our apartment gym and I tell her that she needs to come up and talk to me once she's done. Once she's done, she can come up right now, right in the middle of her squats. Boom, you're coming up, we're talking right now. Half an hour later, she comes up, meaning she took her time, and I calmly tell her that she needs to choose our family and our marriage or the affair partner. Calmly tell her. The girl, she says, I don't know. It's all I get out of her, and she asks for a little time. I agree on the basis that she doesn't contact him or see him. A little time? That guy should say, you're going to make up your mind right now. You got 5 seconds to make up your mind. It's either me and our son or your affair partner. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make your decision. Okay? I'm out of here. That's laying down the law. But he does, no. He'll let her take her time, jerking him around. This is weakness. I agree on the basis that she doesn't contact him or see him. She agrees and goes running for 2 hours. So just like that, whoosh, okay, goodbye, going for a run. She's probably going to go talk to him. I can see where she is on an app. She comes back, finally notices I've cleaned the apartment and cries. The old waterworks. I ask her what she chooses, and again, it's a slew of I don't knows. I press, and she says, it's over. There you go. After all that, it's over. This guy's been a great husband to her, taking care of her, been patient, her jerking him around. But at the end of the day, she's choosing the other guy. I say okay, and though I'm crying, I grab a duffel bag, fill it with some clothing, and she's crying because I'm actually leaving. Well, good, dude. Get out of there. You're finally showing a pair. I kiss my son, tell him that I'm going to stay at his uncle's for a little while, and he's distracted by video games, and he's okay. I tell her I'll be back in the morning for the rest of my stuff, and I bail. The next morning, I get there at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I immediately grab garbage bags and walk into our bedroom. And into the bedroom closet and start loading everything that is mine into them. She sits up in bed with tears and is just watching me. Back to the tears, back to the drama. This guy, that should have been done. That's it. She asked what I'm doing, and I told her that she had made her decision and starts sobbing. My heart is broken, but it's also wanting my wife. Again, like a fool, I get into bed with her and hold her and kiss her for half an hour. This just shows her she can jerk this guy around and have her cake and eat it too, or whatever the hell the proper expression is for that. You know? Every time. There's the reason she's jerking him around. He's a good guy, but he's just this nice guy. Shit's not going to fly. I get that he's hurt. I get that he's heartbroken, but come on here, man. I tell her it doesn't have to be this way, but she has to come clean. Doesn't have to be this way. The second you found out she was hooking up with some other dude, you should have been out, done, over. Especially with all that bad behavior. Nope. Nice guy. Silence. So I'm furious. I yell at her that this is all for nothing. I bag up my shit and I tell her my father and brother are at the cafe 5 minutes away waiting for my call to come and help me get the heavy stuff. Well, good for him at yelling at her because she certainly deserves that. By this time, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and I had bagged everything. She asks what we tell our son. We go and wake him up and I give him a sham of an excuse about communication breaking down. Well, it's not like he's going to go say your mom was effing some other dude. She says she doesn't want to see my family. Don't blame her because she's ashamed. She takes her son to go shopping and I can tell he's a little messed up and confused. I call my dad and brother and they come. We grab my 3 TVs, all the electronics I had gotten to make our place smart. Of course, I let my son have all his cool stuff. I love him and none of this is his fault. And before I leave, she texts me not to go and wait for her and our son. Not to go? This guy's every right. He says, I wait, the place looks like it's been robbed, and she walks in. She tells me not to go. Stop listening to her. Do what you want to do. Also, that our son knocked over a display in anger, and she wishes we could still be a family. I gave her a face that says nothing good, and I tell her that of course he does, and it's what I want. But what the hell does she want? Back and forth, back and forth. You see this, guys? Maybe some of you guys have been through a situation like this where the girl can't make up her mind because the guy enables her behavior. I mean, again, she's the asshole in the situation, but this guy's enabling her behavior. Again, with the I don't knows, I say that there isn't a point for me to stay. I make her tell her parents because they would be furious if they had to find out from our son. The week coming up is the first week of October. I try to keep our son on a schedule. I show up for him to take him to school and make him breakfast, but I'm also taking him to his grandparents' house some mornings when I have to show up early at work. They ask what's going on. I dump everything on them. Well, that must have been an awkward conversation with the in-laws. I tell them I want to fix things, but she is sticking to her dumb I don't knows. Her dad is angry and said for me, since we've come to love and respect each other. She's texting me about how she hates herself and she can't believe she did this to the family. See, I'm such a horrible person. I hate myself. Boo-hoo. Manipulation. So this guy ends up feeling like he's the bad guy. And he says that she's doing this all the while she's talking to the affair partner and probably doing a lot more than talking, I might add. She even goes to ask if we can get back together, and I tell her she knows what she has to do if she wants me back. This guy's out of his mind if he takes her back. This would be his marriage. The back and forth, the drama, jerking him around, all that. It's not worth it. Cut your losses and move on, man. I pick up my son from practice during that week and bring him home. He wants to show me something, and I agree because I love him, and we hang out for an hour in his room. I come out to the living room, and she's a wreck. Asks me to sit down with her, and she gets close to me and wraps her arms around me. I almost give in, and I stand up and I say I'm not going to do this if she's still talking or having anything to do with this guy. Hallelujah, this guy's finally grown a pair of balls. Good. It's about time. She says she ended it, so I sit down and I hold her. We even kiss a little and I touch her. Smack. No, big mistake. But then the phone rings, a different ring, and I can tell she's panicking inside. She says he's been calling all day since she ended it. I look at her in the eyes and ask her to show me that she's ended it. She starts crying and refuses. I told her again if she wants me, she knows what she has to do. This guy's giving her endless options, and that's why she's jerking him around. Siren after siren. Throughout the week, I'm still coming back to take my son to school and even making meals to put into the fridge for him. She's not doing laundry, and I have to force myself not to do it for her. Dude, you better not be doing her laundry. It's bad enough you were cleaning the apartment back a few weeks earlier, but Jesus, come on, man. But I noticed that my son's sheets are filthy. He stank from not showering, and I had to scold her because she's not taking care of him. That weekend, her friends wanted to take her to the Ren Fair, whatever the hell that is, and I'm floored by how she's playing all good. She asks if I can be there for her son just for a couple of hours. I say yes because I want time with him. But even I know that I'm not ready for that. I agreed anyway. Of course you agreed anyway because you're a pushover. Because you're the nice guy pushover and you're using your son as an excuse. Stop being that Mr. Nice Guy. It's not helping you. I show up after work to pick him up from his friend's house, and 4 other boys walk out and jump in the car. Apparently, it was a sleepover. I'm furious. Well, she didn't mention that. How nice of her. Not at him, but at her. I call her, she answers, and realizes that I'm going to leave if she doesn't get back. It takes 3 hours for her to get back, and she's acting all pissy about it. Imagine that. She has the gall to say that she shouldn't have to feel bad about celebrating her birthday with her friends, and I tell her she should feel bad because all this shit is going on. That she took advantage and this was never going to happen again. She cries and says, what am I only supposed to do? Be a mother? I don't even say anything to that, but God damn it, yes. You chose this before you even came into the picture. Exactly. We talk a little more, and she even invites me to stay, sleep in the same bed, and be together. I say no, and I leave. My son seems sad. Okay, he has his moments here when he stays strong. He didn't sleep over or sleep in her bed. I mean, look how she's tempting him here. She knows she can do this stuff because she's known the guy for 8.5 years, and I'm willing to absolutely bet you that she was cheating on him and amongst many other things before they were even married, because she knows she can just jerk this guy around and he's going to keep coming back for more. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what guys will do, but I got to share these stories, guys, to show you examples so you don't make the mistakes that these guys do. There's a purpose to all this. He continues, I keep going to and from, and even though it's draining me emotionally and my bank account because I'm now staying 45 minutes away, her parents only know what I've told them because she's dodging them too. It's the week of October 25th, and he says my ex's birthday week, and it's been weird, and I'm shamefully doing the pick me up dance. It's Monday, and I'm sending sweet video messages, and she's being nonchalant about it at all. What the hell is this guy doing sending sweet video messages? It's obviously her birthday week. The last thing he should be doing is doing anything like that. This just shows her, well, I can keep treating this guy like crap, testing his patience, jerking him around, hooking up with some other dude, and this guy's going to keep coming back for more and putting up with my crap and sending me sweet birthday messages when he should be sending me pretty much anger messages. Very sad. It goes on. I go in the morning to take care of our son, take him to school, and then I do what I do on every birthday week. I start with a small gift to begin working my way up. I dust off a photo of the 3 of us in a pumpkin patch when we were together. It's a beautiful picture. I'm about to leave when I get this itch inside of me. Now listen to this, guys. This is where things really get interesting. I don't know what the hell provoked me, but I started snooping. I found a new shoebox. I opened it, and in there was wait for it, a new vibrator, new dildo, and new butt plugs. He says in parentheses, I threw all of our old toys out when I left. Well, looks like she got some new toys, and looks like the new boyfriend has been doing a lot of extracurricular activities with these different items there. All the while, when she's acting like she wants to talk and work things out and get back together, no, she's still having fun with this guy with all her special toys. She even kept the packaging, and the postmarks were dated the following day that I had left, and they even have gift messages with the prick's name. And then I noticed a letter inside the shoebox, and it was from a woman, but with the same last name of the affair partner's other gift message. I open it, and I see a family photo. 2 little boys, an infant, a dog, and a man and a woman. Along with a letter telling my ex that she had ruined her marriage, and she could keep the affair partner, and that she had found out because of the toys that he had sent her. So the dude that she's cheating with, the wife found out, which they will do, and sent her a picture of the family that she's ruined. But notice, I wonder, the affair partner's wife is blaming her, not blaming him. Right? But it's easier to do that. So we got 2 people's situation going to hell in a handbasket. He says, I took photos and went straight to her parents and explained what I had found. Well, imagine that awkward conversation. Mom and dad-in-law, here a picture of your wife, of my soon-to-be ex-wife's sex toys. Oh, check out the butt plugs there. Imagine that conversation going well. And listen to this, guys. He says, her dad gave me the same advice that he gave me, that all you gave me. Get a lawyer, get all my ducks in a row, and then file. Her dad is telling him to get a divorce, to get a lawyer, get everything ready, and then boom, file. What does it say about her? What does it say what the father-in-law thinks of his own daughter? He knows she's a piece of trash. I did that very day. I gave her the paperwork when it arrived a few days later, and for months we sat on it. Soccer games, a few intimate nights, and he says in parentheses, I wouldn't dare have you-know-what with her, though I was there. Eventually, it came to one soccer game where she saw I wasn't exactly my best, and I prodded until she told me if she was dating, and she said she was. I turned in all the paperwork that week. I believe we're caught up. So it's an abrupt ending to the story, guys, but like I said, this was a assortment of all the other stories he had posted letting know what was going on, connecting it all. But basically, look at all the shit she put him through, that he allowed himself to be put through. This nice guy shit, what happens, okay? And certainly I don't want you guys walking around being jerks, but you got to stand up for yourselves. And this guy, you see every step of the way that I went over, just constantly giving her different chances. I mean, it was just like he was just this idiot, and she was just dangling this thing in front of him, making him jump. She says jump, he says how high, and how much crap she can put him through. You know, never once laying down the law with her, saying enough of this bullshit, you're going to make up your mind, end her story, yes or no. And this whole time, she's having a thing going on with the guy with his magical box of toys being sent to her, and all these other activities going on. And it's amazing that her father, the father-in-law, he's the one telling this guy, divorce her, get a lawyer, get all your ducks in a row, boom, get rid of her. What does that say, right? So guys, for you guys to do relationships, or even though you guys are in marriages, like I said, you got to pay attention to the red flags, like the many red flags are in the beginning. And you got to be assertive and lay down the law when things aren't going well. You can't just pretend nothing's going on and try this nice guy stuff that you see all the time in TV and movies. It's not going to go well. If a woman doesn't respect you, she's not going to love you. But you can tell with her, based on this story and the behavior, she was probably always like this and probably got together with him because she was getting older, wanted to marry her nice guy, but she had her nice guy who was there to pay the bills and provide. Meanwhile, was out having her fun with a guy who probably didn't take her crap, which is probably why she's attracted to him in the first place. I'm speculating here, but that's usually how it goes. She had her chatter Tyrone, meanwhile she was married to her, her wimpy beta male guy. So hopefully this guy goes through and divorces her, it's over, and he learns some things because, again, you can tell this guy's a good guy. I mean, he handles it badly with her, but he's a good guy and cares about his son. And oftentimes the actions are based on the kids and all that, but you can't do that. So, and of course, the humiliation of going in the house and finding a box of magical toys there and knowing what's going on with those. So, anyhow, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.